All right, let's get into it, guys. It looks like they might be starting on some speaking already. Looks like we might be starting already. Let me take a look here.
To be put first. And today, with this vote, we are finally putting these victims and these survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and the cabal of rich, powerful elites that expands not just here in the United States of America, but to other countries as well. We're putting them last. And that is exactly what Americans want. You see, for far too long, Americans have been put last. And they're sick of it. They're sick and tired of it. And this is why they don't trust Congress.
Yeah,
this is why they don't.
MTG is still on the America Sucks dream.
Here's the problem. All of these women who have suffered in shame for years and years and years, women who were terrified, women who were intimidated.
I'm sick as hell,
women
guys.
who
Bear
were
with
threatened,
me.
just like Virginia Giuffre. And now she's
Can't
dead.
kick it.
And these women should have never faced that, for this information to come out. And we, especially the 4 Republican members of the House of Representatives, we should have never faced intimidation and threats for us to get this vote to come to.
Oh, see, now she's feeling a little heat because she got some threats against her all of a sudden. Now she's feeling what it feels like.
Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert. We had to sign a discharge petition, and we had to fight through intimidation, and we had to endure it for months to push that discharge petition finally to 218 to get this vote to come out. This is what the American people are sick of, and rightfully so. Now, where does this go from here? The question will remain, will the Department of Justice release all the information? Will a judge in New York release the information? Will the CIA release the information? And will foreign governments release their information? Or will this continue after this vote today be a cover-up? A cover-up of the rich, powerful elites that bond together in sex and human trafficking abuse and all types of global business that enriches them but never serves Americans. The American people will know, and the victims, actually the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, will know because they know the list of names. And I remain dedicated to my promise to read those names here on the House floor if those women ever find them in a place that it needs to be done. I yield back to Mr.
Gentlelady from Georgia yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. Gentlelady from...
Now, here's the deal. I don't feel better. I feel worse, and I'm taking antibiotics, and this sucks. I've got steroids I took, antibiotics, inhaler, all that shit, and I'm getting worse. But yeah,
Custody of Jim McGovern.
This is too important not to cover. So
for granting us this time, I'm embarrassed for my own party today. I'm embarrassed we withheld signing in, swearing in a duly representative of the people for 49 days. Just to avoid this vote that's finally going to happen today. I'm embarrassed that my own party isn't going to yield me time to debate this, even though they say they support it, and I authored it. They don't even want to yield me time to debate this during the bill debate. But I'm thankful. Let me tell you who I'm thankful to. These 3 brave women, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, and Lauren Boebert, they have been threatened. They have been intimidated. Physically, politically, it's disgusting. And not by the far left.
By the White House.
They have been intimidated by people in our own party.
By the White House.
And for what? For seeking justice for these victims.
Hey, Jess.
So my hat's off. I congratulate them for standing strong. I've always wondered, where were the Republican men during this battle? We've taken 5 months. These 3 women and I have had to drag our party to this floor today to even vote on this. And Ro Khanna is the most to be thanked here in an extraordinary display of bipartisanship. He did not hesitate when I asked if we wanted to bring this bill to the floor together, if he would stand in the trenches with me. He said yes. With that, I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm
I
here.
give myself such time as I may consume.
Gentlelady's recognized.
I gotta sip up though. I can't get sicker.
We need to get facts straight here.
I need socks.
President Trump's DOJ, in his first term, arrested and prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein. We, on our side, want justice to prevail in this case and in every case. Speaker Johnson has always been clear that if the discharge petition reached the necessary signatures, that the House would consider the legislation, and that's what we're providing for in our rule today. In fact, as soon as the petition hit 218 votes last Wednesday, House Republicans offered a unanimous consent request to pass the legislation then. However, the Democrat leader would not give consent to do that last week. Why? Because they're not really interested in this. They're interested in some other things. And, Mr. Speaker, I have to correct the record. Mr. Massey did not request time from me. I'm the person who controls the time on the Republican side, and he did not request time from me, or I would have given him time. I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
I'd like to now recognize the gentlelady from South Carolina for 5 minutes, Nancy Mace.
Gentlelady from South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank my colleagues today for the time, Mr. McGovern and Mr. Khanna, for the 5 minutes on the floor to speak about an issue that is not political for me. Helping the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and his horrific, gruesome, brutal sex trafficking ring is deeply personal. And while we often have many disagreements about a lot of issues, maybe most issues, today they are allowing us to speak on the floor, and I want to thank my colleagues, Congressman Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert, the four of us making history today over the discharge petition and delivering justice for those who have desperately fought for it for, in some cases, almost 30 years. I wore white today because I wanted to reflect on the innocence of the young women who had their innocence stolen.
MTG's in black. That's
Jeffrey Epstein from demons, friends of his.
She's like, God
rich
damn
and
it.
powerful people who stole their innocence as young as 14 years old. It was taken from them, and they've never gotten it back. I'm also wearing white today to recognize the courage that it takes for women to come forward, the sacrifices to them personally, professionally, financially, the embarrassment, the humiliation, the shame that we still deliver on the backs of women who have been brutalized, who've been raped, who've been assaulted. The shame that the media pours over their heads, that their colleagues, their friends, their neighbors, their loved ones, because you come forward and because you talk about sexual assault, you are not a slut. It's not because of what you wore. You're not a whore. But that's how women are treated, and you're not lying. And I want every woman to know, every Epstein survivor to know, every woman across the country who is a survivor, who is a victim of assault, that today, we see you. And this fight and this vote tonight, I see it is about the Epstein victims, but it's about much more than the Epstein victims. This is about the powerless, taking power away from the very powerful. This is about giving women who never had a voice, giving a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah, MTG's done a good job rebranding, but she's got a long way to go. The the lack of empathy for others in other countries is just disgusting to me. It is. And it's prevalent. So many people. She's going to have such a fucking huge following after this from both sides. It's going to happen.
Detailing trauma that I experienced, endured, and am a survivor of, that I accidentally uncovered 2 years ago, almost to the day. And today, I still don't have justice.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to be that person that like fucking has a cult following of like ex-firefighting volunteers and other people who are such great Americans, but fucking find every reason they can to justify their apathy when it comes to helping Ukraine. It's just gonna be so fucking annoying for me.
I, like many of the Epstein survivors and many other survivors across the country, I don't think I will ever heal from the destruction my abuser did to me. But I can heal by being a vessel and being a voice for all those who need it, and that's why we are here today. That is why I will never abandon a single survivor ever, and I will never waver. I spent my morning talking to law enforcement and others about another potential Jane Doe number 5, who may be another sexual assault victim in the case that I uncovered 2 years ago. It's very difficult for us to come forward, but I want to thank the women who have, the Epstein victims, the victims in the case that I uncovered. I want to thank all of you for being a voice, for giving me hope. Maybe one day I too can get justice. Thank you, and I yield.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky
Reserved.
reserves. Gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Our colleagues want Americans to believe that this discharge petition and underlying legislation are the be-all and end-all in this investigation. However, it's House Republicans who've worked tirelessly to achieve true justice for victims. To date, the significant information that has come out has come from the Oversight and Government Reform Committee.
God.
As a result of its issuing 13 subpoenas, we've released 65,000 pages of documents from the Department of Justice, the Epstein estate, which was not mentioned in the underlying legislation, former U.S. attorney, and others. Let me state again, the unanimous consent request to pass the legislation immediately last week was blocked by the minority leader. Full stop. If Democrats truly cared about finding justice immediately for victims, this legislation would have been passed last week. Instead, they want...
This lady's been around when 15 years old was acceptable behavior. Oh, it's just some good old boys having fun.
Republicans, on the other hand, remain focused on truth, accountability, and delivering real justice for Epstein's victims, not political points. I reserve.
Reserves.
Yeah.
Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, may I inquire as to how much time I have remaining?
I respect my elderly, but old people like that disgust me.
I yield myself 3.5 minutes.
Gentleman is
Pedo
recognized.
protectors.
Mr. Speaker, all that is necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And we've had a lot of good men doing a lot of nothing.
Hey, Nathan.
On the other side of the aisle.
Good to see you.
Until we did something, 3 brave women and myself and the Democrat caucus. We did something. And then what did they do? They've opposed us every step of the way. They've lied about the legislation.
Yep.
Let me tell you some of the lies they've told. They've said that it doesn't protect victims. Well, if that is so, why were dozens of victims with us today at a press conference urging this body to pass this legislation? It's because this
She went to
legislation
school with
specifically
Jesus.
protects victims.
Ouch.
They've said this legislation does not prevent the release of child pornography. Of course it does. We have a specific provision in our legislation to prevent that. They've said so many falsehoods about this legislation, but now they're going to vote for it, hopefully enthusiastically. But really, they've been drugged to this. Our judicial system is broken. If it were working, there wouldn't be 1,000 victims who haven't seen justice yet. They are victims of the Epstein class. I begrudge nobody success that they become a billionaire. But if you think being a billionaire or buying politicians keeps you out of the judicial system, lets you rape young women, lets you traffic women, you've got another thing coming when this bill passes. Do not let the Senate muck this up. There have already been efforts to derail this, our discharge petition. The Oversight Committee has released thousands, tens of thousands of documents. That's fine. Keep working. How many names have you released? 0. You are still protecting, or the DOJ is protecting, pedophiles and sex traffickers. The time for that to stop is now. Now, our speaker says, oh, this bill needs amended in the Senate, and specifically, he's trying to create a loophole. He's trying to categorize the pedophiles as victims. He's saying, oh, we don't embarrass the people that went to the rape island. We should protect those names against unreliable accusations. Is he calling all of these victims unreliable? They've testified to the FBI. The FBI has these names in their possession. I asked the FBI director in a hearing, have you looked at the documents? No, he trusts everybody that's been there for decades.
Yeah, Thomas Massey is one of those border guys where he didn't want to send aid to Ukraine because we're not protecting our own border type ass bullshit vibes energy. But, I mean, he's right on his stance here, but he's, like I said, it's this whole America first thing without thinking about what's going on around the world. It's like the match has already been struck globally. We need to support the rest of the world. We are already the world police. We can't just pull out of there and be like, okay, we're going home, guys. See y'all later. Because then they are going to chant death to America and build weapons and formulate plans against us. We need to be the world police. It is too late.
Walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up. I urge my Senate colleagues, do not muck up this bill. The president has already said he will sign it. That means he will sign the bill that we have here today. Do not change this bill. He is ready to sign it. Give it to him. Put it on his desk. Let's get justice for these victims. With that, I reserve.
The gentleman from Kentucky reserves. The gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Reserve.
The gentlelady reserves.
All right, well, they're reserving, guys. Pinned in the description of the chat is a fundraiser for the 14th Mechanized Brigade. We are pushing still. We are currently at $1,300 left. We started at $1,850. We're making headway. This is for the 14th Mechanized Brigade, and this is for vital equipment that they need for the wintertime. 2 EcoFlow charging stations, medical supplies, and food for these men here. This is through Paging, Kansas. This is a 501c3 fundraiser. It is 100% tax deductible if you live in the United States. These men desperately need this stuff, and they need it before winter, and time is running out. We're on week 2. We made good progress. If we can knock this out this week, that would be amazing. We're looking for $1,300 to go. So whatever you can do, $5, $10. But if you do make a donation, it's real easy. Just click on the link that's provided there. It takes you straight here, and then you just go to donate, and then leave an earmark for the 14th, because Paige helps a ton of people. So for the 14th, that would be great right there. But you can see there's a donor list here. Everybody who's donated: Steve Singh, Rhino Raider, Claire from Car for Ukraine threw in $100. Masha, I'm not sure if that was one of mine. Cypher threw in 10. Shifty Lincoln 5. Mitch threw in 55. And Anonymous with 10. So we're making progress on this. It's one of the... Paige is just the best fucking human being ever. She comes to my defense all the time when my MAGA family comes after me. I love her to death. So if we could help, she's directly in link with the staff sergeant of the 14th Mechanized Brigade. This is the very first group I've fundraised for. It's kind of our home group. So if you could, please help.
The opposite of what the survivors want. What an awful, awful thing to do. So let us release the files. Let's give survivors the transparency they've long been denied. Let us take back power from the rich billionaire elites
1300
who
left.
think they can do whatever they
Thank you,
want
Jess.
with no justice or accountability. And let's remember exactly who had to be dragged here under duress and who stood up from day one demanding the truth. And with that, I yield back.
Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities towards the president. Gentleman yields
does that
back.
mean?
The gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, those of us who did not sign the discharge petition are just as concerned about the victims, or if you, as some are calling them, survivors, as our colleagues who signed the discharge petition. We share contempt for anyone who abused anyone else. I've stood on this floor many times, Mr. Speaker, to speak out for victims and survivors of people who have been abused, and against anyone who breaks the law or takes advantage of an innocent person. We will not be characterized as insensitive to that. But what House Republicans, who didn't sign the discharge petition, remain focused on truth, accountability, and delivering real justice
How?
for Epstein victims.
How?
Again, I'll point out that it was under President Trump's Department of Justice.
Oh my
that Jeffrey
God.
Epstein was arrested and tried.
It's because he had dirt on him, you stupid
We have not tried to avoid this situation.
fucking hag.
We want things done the right way. We want maximum justice for these victims and survivors.
Dude, someone fucking put
Our
her
rule
down.
today
Like,
simply
out to
expedites
pasture.
consideration of
Get
the
her out of
massive
office, please.
HANA
This is fucking
legislation.
insane.
And as I said, we would have liked to have seen it pass last
God.
week when we gave
I'm
an
so glad I took my old dog to
opportunity
the
for it,
vet. I'm
but
fucking so
it-
glad I made that
It
decision.
was blocked
This is just crazy.
by the Democrat minority leader. I ask for support for this rule, the
Get her
underlying
out of office.
legislation. With
This is
that,
not the future.
I urge my colleagues to vote
This
yes
is not the future.
on
This is the
previous
past.
question, yes on the rule, and Mr. Speaker,
It's like listening to a fucking third generation slave owner.
the previous question on the resolution.
The gentlelady yields back the balance of her time.
outta here.
The question is on ordering the previous question on the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it.
Mr. Speaker.
what
Request
purpose
the
does it-
yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, further proceedings on this question will be postponed.
Clause 8 of Rule 20 in proposed U.S. House legislation, specifically H.Res. 581 and related bills concerning the release of the Epstein files, refers to a provision aimed at preventing the withholding or concealment of specific records, including communications and metadata regarding the destruction or alteration of documents and data released to Epstein. This clause is part of a broader effort to mandate the Department of Justice to publish unclassified records and investigative materials. This would actually hurt the witnesses. Investigative materials related to the Epstein investigation, explicitly prohibiting the withholding of records for reason of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. Interesting.
Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, the chair will postpone further proceedings today on motions to suspend the rules on which a recorded vote or the yeas and nays are ordered, or votes objected to under Clause 6 of Rule 20. The House will resume proceedings on postponed questions at a later time. For what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules and pass H.R. 4405.
The clerk will report the title of the bill.
H.R. 4405, a bill to require the Attorney General to release all documents and records in possession of the Department of Justice relating to Jeffrey Epstein and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan, and the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Raskin, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Ohio.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and
Jess, it's
extend
for
their
the 14th.
remarks and to
Just heads
insert
up.
extraneous material on H.R.
14th OMBR
4405.
Mechanized Brigade. Excuse
Without
me.
objection,
Mr. Speaker, I yield
I'm
myself
still sick
such
as
time
hell.
as I may consume.
the gentleman is recognized.
We all support holding bad guys accountable, and we're all going to vote for this resolution. But I think a little perspective is important. Democrats have spent 6 months talking
Thank you, by the way.
about Epstein, even though they had 4 years to do something about it. Now, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Maybe it's to go after President Trump.
Maybe it's because there's an active investigation.
Never
Maybe
forget,
he needs
they
to
shut
go
down
after.
the government for 43 days. They said, don't worry about our military. Don't worry about air traffic controllers. Don't worry about our economy.
Maybe it's because he's in the files. Maybe it's because there was active investigations. Maybe it's because there was Democrats in there that they didn't want exposed during the time of the presidency of Joe Biden, which is completely a thing that would happen on both sides of the political party. We can't just ignore that. Maybe there was political donations to the Biden campaign from some of the men that were in there. There's a whole bunch of fucking reasons why. Nobody cares. It's time for the files to come out. This guy is freaking mute. Mute. He has nothing to say. Nothing. Nothing he's saying means a fucking thing. Nobody cares if it's Democrats or Republicans. They want the files to come out. They need to be held accountable.
Then it was Jack Smith and his gag orders and his raiding President Trump's home. Then it was a 43-day shutdown.
How about the fact that President Trump campaigned on releasing the files? How about that fact?
By the same party that did all that, they were also the ones who were texting with Mr. Epstein during a hearing where Michael Cohen was their witness in another effort to go after the president. Americans see through it all, and frankly, it's actually kind of sad. This obsession, this syndrome, this mindset that says we got to go after President Trump no matter what.
Get this guy the fuck out of
Actually,
here.
when I think about it, I
Fucking
think it's
loser.
because President Trump and Republicans have accomplished so much that they told the voters they were going to accomplish in the 2024 election.
What?
We're actually doing what we said we were going to do.
Steal
President Trump said he
everybody?
was going to
Steal
cut
everybody's
taxes,
money?
and he did. President Trump said he would secure the border, and he did. President Trump said he'd get men out of women's sports, and he did. President
Oh
Trump
my
said he
God,
would make
dude.
sure Iran doesn't have nuclear capability, and he did. And he said he would get the hostages out of Gaza back into Israel, and he did.
Oh my God, dude.
All in 9 months. So I don't know what causes this mindset, this syndrome that the left has, but I know one thing. It is real.
He's
Which
in the
brings me to
files.
last week. Think about what the Democrats did last week.
He's in the
The
files.
Democrats released an email that the Oversight Committee had obtained from the estate.
Yawn.
An email from Mr. Epstein to Ms. Maxwell. When the Democrats released it, they redacted the victim's name. Something we all support. Something everyone supports. Except in this case, no court had ordered that name redacted, no agency had redacted it, and the estate didn't redact it. And the victim had already went public. So why black out her name? Why black out her name? Because she had said in her book and had testified under oath that she never saw any wrongdoing by President Trump.
Yeah, under duress, most likely.
So think about what they did. In an email between two criminals, Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell, in an email between two criminals, they hide the name of an individual who had went public and exonerated the president, and we know why. To distort and twist the message because they thought it might harm the president.
Bitch.
Their position Cover up the names of people who are already public, but don't worry about other innocent people who the court said should remain private. Again, I think the American people see through it.
If they're innocent, why would they remain private?
The American people know what this is. They know Democrats have nothing else to run on.
Fuck you.
Because of the success of this administration. So I say let's vote yes on this resolution, and then let's get focused on making sure we're doing what the American families elected us to do.
Protect the children, you dumbass.
Reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you, Mr.
Jesus.
Speaker. I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Today, 4 months and 3 days after Mr. Khanna and Mr. Massey introduced their discharge petition, perhaps the most famous discharge petition in American history, the People's House unites across party lines to draw a moral line. We draw a line against the rape and sexual violation of children. We draw a line against the global criminal trafficking of girls and young women to service the pleasure of rich and powerful men who believe they are beyond all law and all morality. We draw a line to put the voices of the victims and the survivors first. We ask the Senate to join us without changes rather than obstruct this bill with dilatory amendments, legislative graffiti, and self-dealing million-dollar jackpot provisions for lucky senators. Just pass the bill. We're finally voting today because a bipartisan discharge petition led by Representatives Massey and Khanna and signed by 218 of us overthrew the determined obstruction of the Speaker. This forced vote means the House will no longer acquiesce in this astonishing real-time cover-up of a multi-billion-dollar global sex trafficking and child rape ring that has ravaged the lives of more than 1,000 girls and young women. We're here today because these victims, these survivors, these citizens, these inspiring women who have come to Washington are demanding nothing less than justice and the complete truth about who is responsible for their vicious abuse, including those responsible for enabling it, ignoring it, bankrolling it, and covering it up. We join them today in rejecting any more dangerous lies about the crimes they suffered. No, child sex abuse is not a hoax. It's a crime. Human trafficking is not a hoax. It's a crime. These crimes are a curse on children and young people across America, in universities and elementary schools, in churches and mosques and synagogues, in Boy Scout troops and college sports teams and summer camps. Anywhere the powerful and the rich believe they've got the opportunity and the impunity to exploit the young, the poor, the powerless, and the vulnerable. We must face the truth and find the co-conspirators still at large in one of America's most extensive and sophisticated sex trafficking and child abuse rings in history. Release of the file will expose the role of everybody who facilitated and covered up these crimes, like J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, and Bank of New York Mellon, which executed billions of dollars in transactions related to these offenses, as well as any bank executives who participated in the sexual abuse of girls and young women. We must expose everyone who covered up these crimes, like Alex Acosta, the former U.S. attorney in Miami, Donald Trump's labor secretary, who gave Jeffrey Epstein an unbelievable sweetheart plea deal, immunized unnamed conspirators, and killed an investigation into Epstein's financial crimes that could have brought down the entire criminal network. And with that, I'm going to yield. I'll reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 4 minutes to the distinguished chair of the House Oversight Committee, Mr. Comer, the gentleman from Kentucky.
The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As chairman of the House Oversight Committee, I've always believed that sunshine is the best disinfectant. For years, the American people have demanded transparency about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's horrific crimes and about the federal government's failure to protect the victims. The House Oversight Committee is conducting a thorough review of the federal government's investigation into Epstein. Our work goes far beyond the legislation before us today. We are committed to accountability, transparency, and justice for the American people and for the survivors of these appalling crimes. To date, the Oversight Committee has released more than 65,000 pages of documents, issued 13 subpoenas, and conducted interviews with 2 key witnesses, both of whom were Republicans. The Trump administration has provided us with Department of Justice materials and access to suspicious activity reports. Unfortunately, throughout this investigation, Democrats have chosen to manufacture yet another anti-Trump hoax instead of pursuing justice. They have mischaracterized witness testimony and selectively released documents complete with targeted redactions in an effort to smear President Trump. For example, former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr, who oversaw the 2019 Epstein investigation, stated clearly under oath that the prosecution team found no evidence that President Trump committed wrongdoing. Despite this simple and straightforward fact, Ranking Member Robert Garcia, moments after that deposition, tiptoed out and publicly claimed that, quote, Barr could not clear Trump of wrongdoing. That was a lie, and we have the transcript to prove it. I invite the media to read the transcript. When the Oversight Committee interviewed former U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Alex Acosta, Democrats whipped themselves into a frenzy trying to manufacture a gotcha moment, but they failed. Mr. Acosta dismantled the Democrats' narrative. His testimony confirmed there was no contact between President Trump and Mr. Acosta and no connection between President Trump in the Epstein case. Next, Democrats
oh my God,
doctored documents to mislead the American people. Oversight Committee Republicans have posted 65,000 pages of documents we have received to date. Democrats, by contrast, have released fewer than 1 dozen.
Fewer than 1 dozen, but the ones they released were of Trump blowing Bubba. I mean, that's the important shit. We probably need to know if there's a president of the United States sitting in the Epstein files.
So 2 of those emails that changed both the content.
Instead of just fucking nonsense random emails. Like random, oh, here, oh, yeah, find some info in this. Here.
Called them out for their deceptive redactions. Representatives Stansbury and Crockett tried to blame Republicans for their own edits, for the Democrat Oversight Committee edits. After Democrats released only 3 emails, Republicans released over 23,000 pages
of nonsense. You know what's really fucking ironic too is Trump used to be a Democrat, and he keeps saying that it's the Democrats that are in the files. It's like doublespeak. It's like before he ran as a Republican, he was a fucking Democrat. So like he's like narking on himself every time he says the Democrats are in the files.
Files contradict the story they want to tell. That is the definition of hypocrisy. In contrast, full transparency exposed how Epstein appears to be.
I need nasal spray. I'll be right back.
The emails reveal a journalist coached Epstein to blackmail then presidential candidate Donald Trump.
The gentleman's recognized.
The files also show that a House Democrat colluded with Epstein during the 2019 oversight hearing to discredit witness with a vendetta against President Trump. And unsurprisingly, Democrats have been silent about their colleagues' coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch. The files underscore why former President Trump must appear for his deposition. We've subpoenaed him. To date, the Democrats have done nothing to help us secure his appearance. I support full transparency.
But everyone is
the
doing
Oversight Committee will continue to work to get the truth to the American people and to get justice for the victims. That's our goal of this investigation. With that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Oh, it's a day cool
Thank
day.
you, Mr. Chairman. I should just point out that we've heard now from the two distinguished chairmen of the Judiciary and the Oversight Committee, and they've spoken almost exclusively to denounce Democrats.
Oh, the DOJ
we
is
have a
guilty as sin.
bipartisan coalition here demanding the truth about the largest child sex abuse and trafficking ring, perhaps in American history,
It is.
certainly in this
Well,
century.
duh.
And they want to just
perhaps.
throw stones at the Democrats. What a remarkable
You mean there's another one that's more lucrative? He said perhaps the most? Oh my God.
his spectacular failure in trying to impeach President Biden with his spectacular failure in trying to block the resolution we brought to the floor today. I'm happy to yield 1 minute. Excuse me, you're not recognized, whoever's speaking. And I'd like to yield 1 minute to the very distinguished minority leader on the House Oversight Committee.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you. And Mr. Speaker, it's wonderful to hear Republicans and certainly the chairman of our committee finally wanting transparency on this issue. It is time to end this White House cover-up now. Now, we know that Donald Trump has tried everything to kill our Jeffrey Epstein investigation, and he's failed. And now he's panicking. He's about to lose his Epstein vote to force the Department of Justice to release the files. And let's be crystal clear. Trump has the power to release the files
right now.
Today.
Right now.
He does not even need a vote. And he continues to defy the subpoena of the Oversight Committee to release all the files. What is Donald Trump hiding? What is Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, hiding? Why won't they release the Epstein files right now? And he must explain to the public why he moved sex trafficker and monster Ghislaine Maxwell to a cushy, low-security prison after her interview with Trump's personal lawyer.
Yep. She could walk out of the
should
facility
declare,
anytime.
and every Republican should say that she does not deserve a pardon or commutation.
The gentleman's time has expired.
30 more seconds.
I grant him 20 more seconds.
We don't care how much money you have, what party you're in, how powerful you are. We should get justice for the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. And our work on the committee is not over. Next up are the bank and financial records to follow and expose Epstein's network. Today, there should be unanimous
Thank you for the
vote
gifted membership,
on releasing
Gene.
the files, and we will get
Goes to
justice.
Don.
And with that, I yield back.
And we reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Guys, if you're feeling gifty in the chat, here's where to do it. Right in the pinned description. If you're just tuning in, I've plugged it already, but I'll plug it again. If you're feeling gifty, we are fundraising for the 14th Mechanized Brigade. And it's pinned in the description of the chat. This is a 501c3. It's through Page in Kansas. So if you are interested, donate here. It's real easy to do. You donate. It is a 501c3 tax deductible charity group. So just when you do the comment, earmark for the 14th Mechanized Brigade or whatever, and then say whatever you want. But we are currently, this is what she's, see, I don't know what this is current raise, but we are currently at $1,300 left for the 14th Mechanized Brigade. So feel free if you guys would like to donate there. I appreciate the membership, though. I will take the growth of the channel because I need to reach more people for sure, or else the fundraising is just going to be slow forever. So thank you.
It's my hope that the passage of this resolution today, together with the work of the Oversight Committee, will lead to the expeditious release of all pertinent material so that we can move on. Let's get accountability, let's get answers, and let's get this over with. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.
Oh, it was Kevin Kiley. I wanted to hear him. Damn it.
The gentleman from Maryland is
All right, we got to go back a
I
little
yield
bit.
1 minute to the very distinguished gentlelady from Washington, a member of the Judiciary Committee.
The gentlelady from Washington.
Finally wanting
Wait, where is
hiding the unanimous
Jeffrey Epstein. Level.
I got to listen to Kevin Kiley.
Reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield a minute and a half to the distinguished gentleman from California and member of the Judiciary Committee, Mr. Kiley.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
I have consistently called for the maximum possible level of transparency when it comes to the heinous crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. That's why I've consistently said I am inclined to vote for this bill, and it's why I will be doing so today. The victims deserve the truth. They deserve justice, and they deserve closure. For months, they've had to wake up every day and see the name of their tormentor on the front page of every newspaper, on every TV channel, as has the broader American public. This issue has been so politicized by so many people in so many ways, which is deeply unfortunate when we're talking about matters of the highest sensitivity. and untold suffering. It is my hope that the passage of this resolution today, together with the work of the Oversight Committee, will lead to the expeditious release of all pertinent material so that we can move on.
I don't like how you worded that.
Let's get accountability, let's get answers, and let's get this over with. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman reserves.
So Kevin Kiley is a Republican in a district over in Sacramento, and he is a Ukraine supporter. He voted numerous times for Ukraine support. He's also a Republican. He's also been kind of back and forth-ish because he's in a swing district, a really important swing district. So it's interesting to see what's going on. And right now things are tense in his office and other offices. I guarantee you.
Michelle Licata, Ashley Rubright, Annie Farmer, Marina Lacerda, Rachel Benavides.
I agree, Salt.
These women have carried a burden that they never should have had to bear. And today, they demand, we demand, the American people demand that we answer their clarion call to justice. Today, despite all the giant cover-up attempts by this administration and this Speaker of the House, we will vote to release all the Epstein files. To be clear, there is no protection for pedophiles, no protection for the rich and powerful men of either party who participated, who turned a blind eye, who winked and grinned while witnessing the horrific abuses of young children. Release all the damn files now.
We reserve. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield a minute and a half to the distinguished gentleman from North Carolina and member of our committee.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have been very supportive of this effort, specifically to bring justice to the victims of this horrific series of crimes. However, I have worked behind the scenes to raise concerns with this petition as it is currently drafted. Specifically, I believe that there is grave risk at harming innocent people. And I repeat, harming innocent people. When innocent people are harmed, that is not furthering justice. With an investigation of this size and a file that is as large as the Epstein files and as poorly defined as that is in this petition, there will invariably be people who are released pursuant to this discharge petition who had nothing to do with criminal activity. Imagine, if you will, a bellman, a waiter,
what does
some
it
type
matter?
of doorman, a mere social attendee who had no impact whatsoever on the criminal activities of Jeffrey Epstein, no participation. Their lives are forever ruined. And I'm reading specifically from the petition's language that prohibited grounds for withholding information in this file are embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity.
Oh my God.
And I would just submit, if you were going to be embarrassed, if you were going to suffer social harm, and that is all of the encompassed activity that you were a part of, you will be named in this petition. And I resent that. Innocent people should not be harmed when we are.
And I'd write a fucking book. What is this guy even saying? If you're innocent, you're innocent. What does it matter if you're a freaking janitor? If you knew something and you didn't say something, then fuck you. But if you are completely innocent, go on television, have your fucking 15 minutes of fame. Write a fucking novel. My version of the Epstein files. I didn't know shit.
On women. It includes your daughters, your sisters, your nieces, your mothers. And with the Epstein
Fucking
files,
loser.
we have a chance to change that. But real talk, the administration doesn't need a discharge petition. It has not complied with the subpoena, and it has the power to release the files today. Instead, the man in the most powerful position in the world has used the full weight of the government to block and obfuscate and deflect the full release of the files. It is the same person who intimidated female members of Congress to withdraw a name from the petition, who responded quiet piggy to a female reporter who asked about the files, and who nominated an alleged sexual predator to be our AG. It is the same person whose name appears more than any other in the Epstein emails. And in the pantheon of violence, a sexual predator is the worst of the worst. So why protect him? It's also curious that the judiciary is managing this debate and has not even had this come before the committee. I wonder why. Release the files now!
We reserve. The gentleman reserves. The
That
gentleman from Ohio is
energy
recognized.
right there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman
More of
from
that.
Texas, Mr. Roy, chairman of the Constitution Subcommittee.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
I thank the chairman. Today, a united Republican Party and a bipartisan supermajority is going to pass a bill to increase transparency regarding the egregious abuses by Jeffrey Epstein, a goal that anyone of conscience desires. That is, in totality, an important statement to check the rich and the powerful. Remember how we got here. After decades, it was President Trump's Department of Justice that indicted Jeffrey Epstein in July of 2019. It was President Trump's DOJ that arrested and indicted Ms. Maxwell. It was the Republican-led Oversight Committee, through 13 subpoenas, that has released 65,000 pages of files in just 10 months. Meanwhile, my colleagues on the other side of the aisle have largely ignored this issue. It was Democrats who redacted an email to mislead the American people about the truth of a witness that exonerated President Trump. It was a Democrat, Representative Placette, who literally texted with Jeffrey Epstein as we questioned Michael Cohen. It was Democrats who shut down the government, resulting in the delay of swearing in of members. As we vote to pass this legislation, and it will pass, it is impossible, however, to avoid problems with its politicization. One colleague has offensively gone so far as to say that to oppose this bill means you support pedophiles. Yet I know good public servants, former law enforcement, former prosecutors who never knew Epstein, never knew any visitors to his criminal enterprise, who have genuine concerns about supporting this bill out of fear of creating new victims or harming existing victims or both. That is what we've reduced Congress to, inserting itself into the prosecutorial process for political motivations, driven heavily by hatred of President Trump. We should be concerned about victim privacy, concerned about risking disclosure of non-credible allegations, of child sexual abuse materials, future investigations. But here's the deal. The leaders of this nation must expose abuses by the rich and the powerful. That is why President Trump and the House have been working for full transparency. But we should be motivated by truth and justice for all, not politics. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman reserves.
What did he even
the
say?
gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you. I yield 1 minute to the distinguished gentlelady from Massachusetts.
Truth and justice for all. Amen.
The gentlelady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This should be an easy vote. This is about justice for the victims and survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. This is about every victim of trafficking and sexual abuse, monstrous crimes that thrive in secrecy and fear. Yet instead of shining a light on that darkness, just moments ago, Donald Trump defended the continued obstruction of releasing these files. Even as House Republicans prepare to vote yes today, Speaker Johnson is calling this a show vote. He's calling it dangerous. He is signaling the U.S. Senate to block it. Republicans continue to use their power to shield rich pedophiles from justice. If you can't stand up for these survivors, how can anyone trust you to stand up for them? I yield back.
It's like someone next door listening to a crime happen and not doing a fucking thing about it.
Does the gentleman reserve?
Yeah, we reserve.
The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Fuck that shit.
We reserve. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Yes, just very quickly, what happened under the Biden administration? Well, under the Biden administration, Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted for conspiring to sexually abuse and traffic girls in 2020. Right when it's in 2021, she was convicted. In December of 2021,
I gotta heat up some tea.
After a month-long trial in Judge Nathan's courtroom, in 2022, Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison under the Biden administration for sex trafficking and sexual abuse of minors. But when President Trump took office in January of 2025, they killed the investigation. They assembled all the materials, they got all the prosecutors together, and they terminated the investigation. I yield 1 minute to the distinguished gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Raja Krishnamurthy.
The gentleman from Illinois is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support to release the Epstein files. First, this issue is beyond party. It's a question of justice. Survivors have waited too long. Stop the delay. This is not a hoax. Release the files. Second, we must face a hard truth. Silence that shields the powerful is a betrayal of those they hurt. Congress must reject any attempt, including a presidential pardon or any form of clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell. This cannot be done. This would be a cover-up. We cannot allow clemency of any kind for Maxwell, not now, not ever. Survivors deserve justice. I urge a strong yes vote. Thank you.
I want to thank the gentleman for his eloquent remarks. Pardons are for people who are contrite. Pardons are for people who are repentant. Pardons are not for people who lie. Every member of this body should immediately, verbally, vocally denounce the idea of clemency, commutation, or pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell, and we reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Yeah, we reserve, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman reserves.
I yield 30 seconds to Ms. Leisure Fernandez.
The gentlelady is recognized.
There were thousands of girls and young women abused, trafficked, and used by Epstein, the elite and the powerful who believed they could get away with it. Epstein told the young victims that he controlled the banks and the government. Those women refused to be silenced, and today they have pierced the dark with their light. Anytime any girl is trafficked, molested, or abused, the world must stand up. Today, the House proves Jeffrey Epstein wrong. The Senate must do the same tomorrow.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from California. 1.5 minutes to the gentleman from California.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
I thank you, Chairman. Mr. Speaker, a minute and a half or an hour, the words would still have to be the same. We've all said that this will pass the House, perhaps unanimously today. I think all of us who have looked at the details of this particular bill know that it is flawed and that before it goes to the President's desk, it has to be amended as it can be amended in the Senate. And we call on the Senate to amend it so that we protect the innocent, so that we have the provisions that were intended perhaps to be in this bill but are not properly written. With that, President Trump has said, get it to his desk, he will sign it. President Trump has said he will do it. But I'm going to say to all of us, it is also important that we remember that Epstein is dead, but people live on, people who were innocent, people who in fact should not be named. We're not talking about the
That's
rich
all they're
and
doing
the
is
powerful.
dodging the issue.
We're talking about the very victims.
I'm still waiting for one of them to
That
come
is
out
what
and
we need to make
justify the
sure is
behavior using
amended
scripture.
before it goes to the President's desk. And with that,
but the Bible
I thank the
says-
chairman for his time. I think no more needs to be said.
The
that
Bible
this body
says-
will vote for it all, but let's not kid ourselves. It has to be changed so that it properly protects both the tradition of the grand jury and clearly those innocent people that would otherwise be swept up. And I yield back.
The gentleman's time has expired. The Thou gentleman shalt yields back. taketh thy children. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
This whole bill is about protecting the innocent. Mr. Speaker, the Senate must pass the bill as we are passing it today and as the President has said he would sign it after changing his position on the bill over the weekend when he could see the tidal wave of public opinion moving against him. Let's pass this bill, pass it in the Senate, sign the bill, and let us go ahead and release the complete file. I yield 30 seconds to the distinguished gentlelady from Arizona, Representative Ansari.
The gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the walls are closing in on Donald Trump and his rich and powerful friends who either abused or raped children or were enabling and complicit in these heinous crimes for decades.
Yuck.
This vote today matters, but here is the truth. Donald Trump could direct the Department of Justice to release the files today.
I know.
He is choosing not to. They are already under subpoena, led by oversight Democrats, and have refused. This is an ongoing cover-up by the Trump White House, and Mike Johnson and the House has been complicit. What is Trump hiding? Why not release the files today? This is a
Time has expired.
Release the files today. Thank you.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
Literally, he could release the files, but he's probably going to classify most of the information, or he's going to start the DOJ investigations with Pam Bondi, so she could say, classified, can't talk about it, redacted, sorry, active investigation, sorry, and then we'll never hear about it. Or he'll classify it, they'll rewrite the bill, it'll go to a closed session, and we'll never hear about it. We're not, I hate to say it, but we're probably never going to see those files.
Through all the yelling, through all the tears, through all the sadness, they say releasing the Epstein list is of grave concern.
At least not while Trump's
If that
alive.
was true, where were they during the 4 years
Or
of the
everybody
Biden
that's in it is
presidency?
dead.
Why didn't they demand the release of these files from Jumpstart in year one? Mr. Speaker, why didn't they ask for them in year two? Or if that wasn't good enough, maybe in year three, they had control. Or not even in his final year of office. Other than a single letter the ranking member wrote in 2019, a single letter, not one Democrat on the committee spoke out about Epstein or his victims of this very terrible tragedy, other than to say that he didn't like the plea deal. Let me say this. When they stand here today insisting how badly they want these files released, why didn't they do it? Yet they stayed silent for year after year after year after year under Joe Biden.
Oh
it's
my
impossible.
God. Shut
Mr.
up.
Speaker, it is impossible to see that as genuine. What I see is a group more focused on scoring political points and drama than of protecting abused children. The record is clear. Under Republicans, far more information has been released in the last 6 months than was done during all 4 years of the previous presidency under Joe Biden. We've actually been the party of transparency. We've released the information. We've told the truth. Unfortunately, and I'm sad to say it, they have been the party of hypocrisy.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Chair, I reel back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
You know, I've never heard a more defensive presentation in my life than what we're hearing from over there.
For real.
The gentleman should spend a little less time pointing out hypocrisy and a little more time trying to ferret out cruelty, humiliation, and rape. And that's what we're working on. I yield 30 seconds to the distinguished gentleman from California, Mr. Min.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
I want to remind you that we are all here voting on this bill because President Trump, who has the power to release the Epstein files at any time, has refused to do so, calling this a hoax. We're here because Speaker Mike Johnson and President Trump have gone to extraordinary lengths to try to kill and delay the discharge petition, including refusing to seat Adelita Grijalva for over 40 days and threatening House Republicans who signed on.
Days, I think.
Now, several of my Republican colleagues have accused those of us House Democrats who support justice here of having Trump derangement syndrome. You all suffer from something much worse, which is pedophile protection syndrome.
Damn.
Stop protecting pedophiles. Release the Epstein files. The victims deserve justice. I yield back.
We reserve.
Members are reminded to direct their comments to the chair.
No kidding.
The gentleman from Maryland reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Damn, suffering for PPS.
The gentleman from Ohio reserves. The gentleman from Maryland.
Hey, LJ.
I'm yielding 30 seconds to my friend, Representative Walkinshaw from Virginia.
The gentleman is recognized.
For years, Mr. Speaker, we have watched dangerous conspiracies like Pizzagate and QAnon shape our political landscape.
Facts.
They help fuel the rise of President Trump and were built on baseless claims about secret pedophile rings, while the real documented case of child sex trafficking involving Jeffrey Epstein remained shrouded in secrecy because President Trump refuses to release the files. What is President Trump hiding? Why won't he release the files? The House finally has the opportunity to act, release the files, and let the American people see the truth. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.
We reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
We reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Granting 30 seconds to the very distinguished gentlelady who is finally with us, Representative Adelita Grijalva.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
The gentlelady is recognized.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to acknowledge the survivors, family members, and advocates who are here today and have never given up. The legislation in front of us, at its core, is about something very simple. The survivors deserve justice. The American people deserve the truth. To every survivor watching, your courage is inspiring. You are the happening today. Protecting women and children from pedophiles should not be a Democratic issue, should not be a Republican issue. It should be a human rights issue and a matter of justice. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I yield back. Thank you.
Thank you, and we reserve.
The chair will remind all persons in the gallery that
They are here as guests of the House, and that any manifestation of approval or disapproval of proceedings is in violation of the rules of the House.
Oh, I can't clap.
The gentleman from Maryland.
Yeah, but I'll just add, they're here as honored guests of the House, and we're delighted they're here, and with that, we reserve.
Oh, it's the victims, I bet. Hell yeah.
We reserve. The gentleman reserves.
Shit.
The gentleman from Maryland.
Yep.
I'm granting 30 seconds to Representative Lois Franco from Florida.
The gentlelady from Florida is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, for far too long, the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse were failed.
by a justice system that minimized their suffering, and prosecutors who treated young girls as if they were criminals. That was wrong, and I am here with my colleagues to promise this. We will get to the bottom of why the Epstein survivors were treated so badly, who made those decisions, and who were they protecting. No more secrecy, no more excuses. We all deserve the truth, and I thank the survivors for their courage and perseverance. Your voices are being heard.
The gentlelady yields back. The gentleman reserves the balance of his time. The gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1 minute to the distinguished gentleman from the great state of Louisiana, the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
Mr. Gentleman from Louisiana.
Mr. Grinder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Chairman Jordan, for doing such an extraordinary job
This
on all
fucking
this.
loser.
For 43 long days, the Democrats held this House and the entire country hostage.
Oh my God!
Finally,
Shut up,
with the lights
dude.
back on, this body's returning to our regular legislative session. We have a lot of work to do. My colleagues on this side of the chamber are ready and eager to get back to our urgent legislative work that we promised the American people we would do. We've got to continue lowering the cost of health care. We've got to bring down prices for American families, and we've got to
make a new
finish
Grindr
the
account.
regular appropriations process, just to name a few of those priorities.
Check
And
his
I wish I
son's
could say that our first
emails.
order of business would be to get to those urgent priorities, but of course we're here spending time on the floor about something else. This is something we could have resolved
something else.
last week,
Not important to him.
when we brought a unanimous consent to pass this discharge with the full support of the body. But our friends over here who are arguing today stalled that. They objected to it, and they wanted to have this exercise
Justifying
instead.
his
And that's why we
fucking
say
apathy right
that
now.
this is a show vote. That's what this is. They're making a show of it. And it really is a shame. We have some heroic women in the chamber today. I met with many of them a while back.
None of which you're interested
They're in the
in.
gallery here. They have come forward. They have shown their faces. They've used their names to share the unspeakable tragedies that many of them were subjected to, some of them when they were very young. And it is a heroic service to the country. They are seeking justice, and the justice has been delayed for too long. The Department of Justice, many years ago, should have brought these charges. It took too long to do it. And now we're in this process of making sure all the American people get the information, but we have to do it in the right way, After 4 years of Democrat control under President Biden, they were not truthful with us about a lot of things. The Democrats insisted the border was secure. We knew it wasn't. They insisted that inflation was transitory. We knew it wouldn't be. They misled the American people about the obvious mental and physical decline of the previous commander-in-chief. And now those same Democrats are demanding transparency. Suddenly, transparency is their new word.
Wow.
Out of nowhere, they've taken a curious concern in the Epstein investigation, all in the name of that, in
Out
the
of
name
nowhere?
of
You
transparency.
gotta
But
be
the question
fucking
has been
kidding
asked
me.
here many times during the debate on the floor, and everybody questioning why it is that Democrats have done this right now have to look at the obvious facts. The Democrats had all the Epstein files in their possession for 4 long years under the Biden presidency. The Biden Department of Justice had these files, and no one on this side who is breathless today about the urgency of this release ever said a word about it. And it was the Democrats who could have urged President Biden's Department of Justice to go beyond prosecuting just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but they didn't do it. And so it's a fair question to ask today, why now? Why the sudden urgent interest in Jeffrey Epstein?
Because he
Look,
campaigned
we know
on
why.
it, you asshole.
It's because the Democrats were never interested in transparency or executing justice or protecting the victims of this unspeakable tragedy before. The simple truth is obvious for everybody to see. This is a political exercise for Democrats, and it pains me to say it. I wish that was not the truth, but it is, and it's undeniable. This is as deceitful and dishonest as their pointless stunt was to shut the government
He
down.
so takes it up the butt.
Democrats are using the Epstein tragedy, the unspeakable evils that this guy committed with his trafficking ring
he's on
and all of
Grindr.
the abuses that
He loves it.
they made these young women go through. They're using that as a political weapon to try to distract
Also
from their
get all
failures
that
as a
lying
party
stress out. Just
and to try their best to try to tie President Trump somehow into this wretched scandal. The president had nothing to do with it. He's been very clear, and he has nothing to hide. And that's why he's endorsed the vote today. I suspect this vote will be probably unanimous. But here's the important point that everybody needs to understand. We have been advocates of maximum transparency, but we have also insisted that the victims be carefully protected. The Oversight Committee has been doing extraordinary work, and we've got some of the most vigorous advocates
so nervous.
on the Republican and Democrat side on the Oversight Committee. They've been working in earnest to deliver transparency for the American people and to do it in a responsible manner.
I could hear him quiver when he breathed in. He is nervous as fuck right now.
All the results that the discharge petition seeks, and much, much more. Chairman Comer and all of these advocates over there have been releasing thousands of documents, for example, from the Epstein
Fucking
estate.
hypocrite.
By the way, in my view, that's been the greatest treasure trove of information because it's yielded for us Epstein's own personal flight logs, his financial records, his daily calendars, and so much more. But importantly, none of that was addressed or is addressed in the legislation that's being voted on today. The estate files wouldn't even have been encompassed in that. And so it goes to show that the Oversight Committee is doing it from the right way. From the very beginning, we've been insistent that this matter be handled carefully and with the utmost caution and care for the people who have been harmed. They should not be made to suffer any longer. We're talking about real people's lives at stake here, and young victims who don't want to be dragged into this political game.
What a great time to have a conversation in the background there, joking.
But the Democrats are rushing the release of thousands of unsubstantiated documents that may be included in this, that are going to be in the public domain with the passage of this bill. And there are serious deficiencies in the legislation that I have noted at length, and Republicans have to work
Welcome to the
address
Jungle
those
Lights, Jess.
deficiencies
Jess,
in the
thank you for
Senate
membership.
if and when this legislation is advanced. I stood before the American public today
Enjoy your
at our press
emojis.
conference, and I explained in detail the dangers of the discharge petition. We have posted at my website, speaker.gov, a summary. The legal counsel, a small army of lawyers, put this together.
Hey, Steve.
I used to be a federal court litigator. Many of my colleagues who have spoken today were. We understand the dangers of how this was haphazardly drawn up. And among them, by the way, Mr. Speaker, before I forget, I seek unanimous consent to enter into this document into the record. It's on the website. It's entitled, How the Flaws of H.R. 4405 Could Re-Victimize Epstein's Victims, Create New Victims, and Damage the Judicial System. It is dated today.
The victims want it to pass, you fucking
Thank
cock.
you. And it summarizes just 5 or 6 of the major concerns. Among them, it fails to fully protect victim privacy.
They don't fucking care.
It could create new categories
don't care.
of victims.
Don't care.
It potentially jeopardizes grand jury secrecy.
Don't care. Oh,
it fails to
don't
prohibit
care.
release of child sexual abuse material.
Oh my God, you fucking liar.
Legislation.
You were
It
lying.
jeopardizes future federal investigations, and we have national security concerns regarding classified information. We'll put this in the record because we need the legislative record to reflect what is the legislative intent behind this vote. I used to litigate cases. We would litigate federal statutes and whether
the national security concerns he has is all the bullshit that President Trump has done to and for other nations to fucking hide this cover up. That's the national security concerns. Why he wasn't providing aid to Ukraine. What does Putin have on him? His decision making was behind these fucking files. That's the national security concern. Part of the cover up.
Our utmost respect. In fact, they should be saluted for their courage. And the young women who have not come forward, who are now, some of them are middle-aged women who have not come forward, also deserve our respect, and they deserve to be protected. Republicans support transparency. We want maximum transparency, especially when it comes to disclosing the names of anybody who had anything to do with these evils, anybody who conspired with or aided in any way Jeffrey Epstein. They must be brought to justice. We want the bill to be amended so it doesn't, at the same time, violate victim privacy, create new victims, disclose the names of any whistleblower or informant, cause the release of grand jury materials or child sexual abuse materials or under.
You think he takes that wedding ring off when he's fisting his boyfriend on Grindr, or does he leave it on?
We will work with our colleagues over there to make sure that these things are corrected.
I bet he leaves it on.
I'll just close with this this simple thought. We've been at this a while. It's drug on for a while. But it's time for this to come to light. I expect that this will be a unanimous vote, and it will reflect what I think every member in this chamber, and I'll say this now, at least in recent days, every member of the chamber on the Democrat side, they didn't say anything for 4 years, but they're for maximum transparency now, and so is this side. But we want to do it in a respectful and careful manner so that we don't subject innocent people to further harm. And that has been the whole thing. I told all my members today I'll be voting yes on this, and I suspect almost everyone will.
Why is there a baby in
We'll send it to the
Congress?
Senate, and we hope it's corrected. Thank you for the time, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
It's for the children. Did you see how fucking red his ears were, too?
I'm yielding to Mr. Gomez for the sole purpose of making a parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Gomez is recognized.
Mr. Speaker,
I rise
Why is there a
to ask
baby
a
in
point of
Congress?
parliamentary inquiry. Is this an appropriate time to point out that the Republicans named children's savings account in their so-called one big beautiful bill after Donald Trump, someone connected to...
I didn't know the Epstein victims were allowed on the floor.
That the Speaker of the House just lied on the floor by stating that there was protection.
gentleman will
There isn't
suspend.
protections for the victims in the Epstein bill.
The gentleman is no longer recognized. The gentleman from Maryland, you are recognized.
I am prepared to close. I've
It's a
got no more
therapy
speakers on
baby.
my side.
The gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Made me snort.
No, no.
They're getting
Gentleman
loud.
from Ohio has 30 seconds.
Can I inquire how much time is remaining?
30 seconds.
They broke something with all the anger.
6 minutes, 15 seconds.
Take 30 his.
We reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
I'll take the opportunity of the Speaker's presence to respond to some of the things that he said.
The lies
In the very
he said.
presence of the victims and the survivors who come to join us today, the Speaker said that now would be a time we should be working on urgent legislative work. Mr. Speaker, justice is urgent legislative work. The truth is urgent legislative work.
Amen. Fucking A.
The Speaker says, why now? Why now? Well, Mr. Speaker, you were the one who refused to swear in Adelita Grajova for 50 days. We would have done it 50 days ago, but she provided the 218 signature on the discharge petition.
Punk ass.
So why now? It was because of your dilatory tactics, your delay, your postponement of it. Now, the gentleman says that there are not sufficient protections. There are protections in the bill for the victims to make sure that their names will be redacted. And yet we hear even the Speaker of the House of Representatives openly inviting the U.S. Senate to start finger painting on this bill, which we have waited more than 5 months to bring to the floor. The Senate should pass the bill exactly as it's written. The President should sign it exactly as he said he would when he finally changed his mind. And the Epstein file must be released. Moreover, if the President is serious about what he's saying, he's got the power to release the Epstein file right now. Nobody's stopping him. It's within his possession. It's within his control. He can release the whole thing, and he can redact the names of the victims and others who are innocent in this process.
The vote should be now, I believe. We'll see.
Speaker Johnson said that these are unspeakable evils. Well, because of the bravery and the invincible courage of the women who've joined us today, they're no longer unspeakable. They're spoken. They're articulated. The cat is out of the bag, and we know what's been going on for decades. It's been a double standard of justice, going all the way back to Alex Acosta, who later got rewarded with a cabinet appointment in the Trump administration. Alex Acosta had a 60-count federal indictment ready to go against all kinds of people for an interstate sex trafficking conspiracy with solicitation, with child sex abuse, all of it. And he traded that 60-count federal indictment for 1 count in state court. And Jeffrey Epstein ended up getting the sweetest of sweetheart deals ever on the plea bargain front. He was free from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to do whatever he wanted and continuing to perpetrate his crimes and run his conspiracy. And then he would come and he would watch TV and spend the night in jail. And it was over in about a year after the rape and sexual abuse of hundreds and hundreds of girls. And he kept going and he kept at it. We want the whole truth to come out. This is the United States of America. Even the British monarchy wouldn't put up with this. How about the American democracy? How about we say, no way, we're not going to allow this cover-up to go on for 1 day more. And I'm glad the President changed his mind after pulling out all the stops to try to get one of our Republican colleagues to change their mind, to remove their name from the discharge petition. He gave up. And I want to salute the gentlelady from Colorado from having the courage to stand her ground in the Situation Room in the White House and say, no, she wasn't going to be bullied.
Yeah, shout out to Boba for that.
So, I'm glad the president changed his mind.
Can't stand
but let's be clear, Mr. President, you've got the power today to release the entire file. That's what you called for. That's what Pam Bondi called for. That's what Kash Patel called for. So we don't need anybody calling for the Senate to slow things down for more weeks and more months. The American people have had it. We'll reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman is reminded to direct your comments to the chair and not your colleagues. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized, and you do have 90 seconds remaining. Correction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 30 seconds to the gentleman from Texas.
Gentleman from Texas is
Lemon
recognized.
ginger with
the
Scott
Democrat
Bonnet
Party,
honey.
with help from the dishonest media, used the Epstein files not to seek justice from the victims, but to smear President Trump. And it's sickening, quite sickening. The Democrats have used the Epstein files to distract the American people from the wins President Trump and his administration have delivered for the American people for the last 11 months.
Are we winning?
I'm proud to work with my Republican colleagues on the House Oversight Committee in coordination with the Justice Department. 65,000 pages of documents are related from Epstein released. What have my Democrat colleagues done? They selectively leaked and altered documents to mislead the American people. As President Trump has stated, we have nothing to hide here. I'm voting to release the files so that we can move on from this smear campaign the Democrats have manufactured. God bless
Gentleman's
Donald
time
J.
has
Trump.
expired. Gentleman from Maryland
God bless
is recognized.
Donald Trump.
Reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Ohio reserves. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
All right. How much time do I have to close?
There we go.
You have
That's
2
much
minutes.
better.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank all of America for tuning in to this. I want to thank Representatives
God bless Donald
Massey
Trump, right?
and Khanna, Representative Green, all of those who have insisted upon bringing the truth forward and a reckoning with the reality of one of the worst international child sex trafficking rings ever to exist in the United States and the cover-up attendant to it. We've got the opportunity today to do justice for the victims, for the survivors who have come forward to say that the voice of the victims and the survivors must be put at the very center of our deliberations, not shunted off to the side, not submerged, not subordinated, but put at the very center. We must hear from the people who themselves were victimized by this nightmare.
Bubba.
Now, our colleagues across the aisle seem to want to make this into some sort of partisan contest. I haven't heard so much talk about the Democrats since the Democratic National Convention. And all that we've done here is to say we want to bring the truth forward, along with a bipartisan group. We don't want the Senate monkeying around with this in order to slow things down. We want it passed in the Senate. We want it signed. And before that, if the president is true to his word and he wants to see all of this come to light, he can release it now instead of fighting, kicking, and screaming every step along the way. But I'm glad he's changed his mind, and I hope he maintains the momentum he's got to stick with the vast majority of the American people who want to see that the truth is done here. And while he's at it, the administration could reconsider their terrible policies gutting federal offices and programs designed to combat violence against women. The DOJ terminated hundreds of grants to police departments, defunding the police when it comes to investigating violent sex crimes and to support victims. His DOJ destroyed programs to combat international human trafficking rings. Let's get back on the side of the women. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker Johnson said it right. Why now after 4 years of doing nothing? Because going after President Trump is an obsession with these guys. Best example is John Brennan testified in front of our committee under oath, said he was not involved with the dossier. Only problem is Tulsi Gabbard declassified a report, released that report, and it said exactly the opposite. And she related a story in there where a CIA official went up to Mr. Brennan and said, we shouldn't include this in the report. And John Brennan's response was, yeah, but doesn't it ring true? Forget the facts, forget the truth, go after Trump, put it in. Same dynamic at work here. We're all for protecting innocent victims. We're all for exposing the bad guys who did bad things.
Freudian slip. Come on, baby.
But this is an obsession with the left. For 10 years, it's going after President Trump.
Oh, my God.
So vote
Shut
yes.
up, dude.
Make sure the bad guys are held accountable. We all want to do that. Speaker Johnson's right. I think it's going to be unanimous. But understand what they're doing, because they had 4 years and didn't do a darn thing. With that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill, H.R. 4405? Those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without
Can I request a
objection,
recorded vote?
Recorded vote.
From Maryland
We
is
want to know who
recognized.
voted
I'm
nay.
requesting a recorded vote.
Gentleman from Maryland
Nay.
has requested
Who wrote a nay?
Recorded vote.
We want to know.
Those favoring a recorded vote will rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. Pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, this 15-minute vote on the motion to suspend the rules will be followed by 5-minute votes
Oh, yeah, he was jealous of
on
Hillary,
ordering
for
the
sure.
previous question on House Resolution 879, adoption of House Resolution 879 if ordered, and adoption of House Resolution 878. This is a 15-minute vote.
15 minutes. Here we go. We want to see who voted nay. I swear to God. If they voted nay, they're in the goddamn files. Or they received massive amounts of money. Actually, at this point, they would still vote yay, even if they got money. They have to be like directly in the files to vote nay at this point. I dare a motherfucker to vote nay. But even so, this still has to go to the Senate. Then it has to be signed into law by President Trump. And then, like everybody's been talking about, if Pam Bondi has active investigations, which Donald Trump publicly called for like a dumbass, then he can have files redacted. And if they're investigating Democrats in the files, well, shit, they were all his buddies back then. Donald Trump was a fucking Democrat. So if he's in the files with his buddies, they could redact his name, and we'll never see. They could redact those files. Pam Bondi can say, sorry, can't release this part. Active investigation. And then we won't know until President Trump's gone. And everybody else that's in it. Let me get rid of the horse head. Blocking it. This is the House. This is the House of Representatives. It goes to the Senate next, and it goes to the president's desk. Which is just shameful, because he could just release the files himself right now without this happening. But he's buying time. He's up against a wall. His constituents are scared. And a lot of them are leaving his group. A lot of them are leaving MAGA. There's people burning hats. They're burning hats. They're burning the MAGA hats. Because he is in the files, folks. He is in the Epstein files. We'll bring you a slight commercial real quick here. We're gonna bring you a commercial break, guys. Where is my sound? Is my sound down here? Oh, here we go.
Introducing the new McTrump, a bold burger on a blazing orange bun drenched in our all-new Clinton Special. Creamy, salty, and gloriously messy. It's built to drip, made to wow, and guaranteed to leave. Introducing the...
Brought to you by the McTrump, guys. With the Bill Clinton drip.
In bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
What do we got? We got more?
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
You gotta give him that huck to and spit on that thing.
That I disagree with that. You have to maintain eye contact, work that chest, cut the balls. My hands wrapped around the Johnson. And most importantly, when he says, I'm gonna come, don't change that speed.
What's one move in bed that makes...
I love the internet these days. God, it's so good. It's just so good. They do such a good job with it. And then this one, of course, I love this. This is a classic. Right here.
Bill Clinton can literally just say, yep, and would break the internet. Bill Clinton.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. No nays. Nobody wants to go down in history as a pedophile protector. Even though they already are. Like, we won't forget. They might vote on it, but we know. We fucking know. Some words from Adam Kissinger about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Hey guys, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's turning into a Democrat. Come on, guys. No, she's not. This is like an act, or she's really mad because Donald Trump wasn't going to support her for Senate. I actually think that's kind of it. So it's all personal. She hasn't found Jesus or anything. Okay, so let's just temper our enthusiasm a little bit here. I mean, if she wants to crap on Trump, I'm all for that. But she's not the new second coming of, the savior.
Yeah, we can't hold her on a pedestal. She's done a lot of fucking damage. Lots of damage. Atrocious damage. Did I start? I did. I started a collection. I was going to do a video update yesterday, but I felt like shit. I was just choking on my own snot. So I'm like, oh my God, fuck this. I didn't. I'll live stream tomorrow. Guys, but the reason we're here live streaming ultimately is for this fundraiser right here. I'm gonna plug it one more time here. Pinned in the description of the chat is for the 14th Mechanized Brigade. Spider Fate with a donation. Thank you. 14th Mechanized Brigade pinned in the description of the chat. We are now at $1,295 needed to wrap it up. It's for 14th Mechanized Brigade, 2 EcoFlow charging stations, medical supplies, food. This is week 2 of the fundraiser. Steve Sane, thank you very much for the donation last week, along with Rhino Raider, thank you. Claire from Car for Ukraine, thank you. Masha, thank you. Cypher, thank you. Shifty Lincoln, thank you. Mitch Ashdown, thank you. Anonymous, thank you. Christine, thank you. Zachary Harden, thank you. Me, thank you. Thank you guys, everybody who's donating to this. This is super important that we get this done for the 14th. They're near and dear to my heart. Yeah, and we'll have Paige Kansas on the channel soon to talk to her about her last trip to Ukraine. I don't know when, maybe next weekend. I'll talk to her. I'll ask her. She wasn't free this weekend, but we'll have to get her on and try something. I don't have a lot of free time either, and I'm sick. I'm sick as hell right now. Nevada is a nay vote? Where? I don't see it. Oh, NV is a nay vote. NV is a nay vote? Is that how that works? Or a no vote? I think it's a no vote. Nay would be here. So these are moving over here when they vote yay. I believe that's how that works. So no vote would be considered. I see what you're saying. So no vote would be considered a nay vote. That potentially. I would imagine, yeah. Might as well be, right? You're not going to vote yay, then yeah, fuck you. I guess that's fair to say. 6 minutes and 42 seconds left. We're going to see this through. Well, we got $5 to the fundraiser today. I'm happy with that. $5 at a time, if that's what it takes. Really want to see this one get done. We're going to keep pushing it until it does too. So it's always tough during the holidays. People always, I know I'm short on money. Shit. I can't wait not to be sick. So yeah, NV vote stands for not voting, indicating the number of members who did not participate in a specific vote. This category is used to distinguish between members who were absent, chose not to vote, or in some cases engaged in vote pairing, and those who actively cast a yay or nay vote. So some people might not even have showed up. I'd imagine if they're in the files, they wouldn't show up. I don't imagine there'd be a lot of people in the House in the files. Probably more in the Senate. And then in the cabinets. Maybe a judge or two. NV will not get you through the next primary. Nope. Nope, fuck you. You're not here. Forget it. You want to retire. Your flight got delayed. There'll be any excuse in the world, I'd imagine. Four minutes, 12 seconds left. McClinton.
We have massive breaking news right now. A Trump.
Ooh. No way. When is this? This is today. Aaron Parnas.
Ruling. And that massive breaking news right now. A Trump-appointed judge in Texas just blocked the gerrymandered maps passed by Republicans in Texas earlier this year. A absolutely stunning ruling.
That's huge.
And now Texas Republicans will have to use their 2021 maps, which were not gerrymandered to the extent that these new 2025 maps are. Which means that while California allowed Democrats to pick up 5 seats in the House, at least as it currently stands,
dude.
Texas will not allow Republicans to pick up their 5 seats. Judge Jerry Brown, who is a Trump appointee, just ruled minutes ago that he will be preliminarily enjoining the state from using the 2025 maps, requiring them to use the 2021 maps in the next 2026 midterm election. Folks, this is a bombshell.
Oh my God, dude.
And a huge loss for Republicans right now. I will provide you more updates as we get more information. Spread the word, subscribe to my Substack at the link in my bio, and follow along, stay updated on all the news that you need to know.
Bro.
We have massive breaking news right now.
Fucking taking L's. Dude. L. Oh shit. Oh my God. Yeah, that's for real. Yeah. Oh, Aaron Parnas doesn't bullshit. It might be TikTok, but he's the real deal.
There is hope here.
Damn,
We've
dude.
got the president, the attorney general, the FBI director.
Yeah, he's fucking. That's huge. I could have done a whole stream just on that. Hey. All I'm saying. Somebody voted for that in where he lives. Just saying. Just saying. Somebody did it. Somebody voted. It was me. I did. A fucking Texas appointed Trump judge blocked the gerrymandering in Texas. Dude, I'm fucking. How's your day going? Is everybody how's everybody's day going? Dude, this is I'm happy. I'm happy. That makes me very happy. Yeah. I might be sick. I might feel like shit, but I'm happy. Dude. It's not going well for him. The best thing that could happen right now is that picture of him blowing Bubba gets released. Dang, dude. He fucking blew Clinton. He blew Clinton. Going without the music? Oh my God, some of this is just insane. What are you doing? Yikes. So weird. It's so weird.
You can do so much better.
The internet never goes away. God, it's just the greatest. Ugh. There is a nay? A Democratic nay? Well, who is in the Epstein files? For the record. What is this? What is this? What did I just watch? Was that Putin taking a picture of him hiding under the desk? Show me that. Where was that? I just saw. AI is crazy now. Yeah, right here. Dang, dude. Oh my God. Insane. The nay's a nut job. Probably. Oh no, the day's gone. Someone hit the wrong button. I can't even show that, dude. Some of this shit. Oh my God. All right, time's up. Let's hear it. It's getting official. We're getting official, folks. Can we get the gavel? Everyone there is a nut job for sure. You gotta be to be in politics. You gotta be weird as fuck. I know it's making me weird just covering it. It's very isolating from everybody else. They just don't get it. And then you just like try to break it down for them to like, oh, both sides. Shut the fuck up. This would have been so much better if it was HR 8647. Republican nay. Okay, we got Republican nay. Thank you, Salt. Appreciate it. I love my community. You guys are greatest. We do a lot of fucking good work fundraising for Ukraine. We do. We've done a lot. I think we've, what, 2 trucks this year with Canty Luton. If we counted those together, what, that's like, well, 1.5 because we didn't finish, but we still got them the truck. That would have been like 16. And then the 17, 18, 18.5 plus Rowan, 14th, 18.5 Rowan, plus all the other, yeah, that was included in that. Page and Kansas's. Rowan, probably that was like 15, I think, total. 19. We've raised like 20 grand on this tiny channel. 20 grand for Ukraine this year, if not more. If we're including the Car for Ukraine fundraisers with Canty, about 20,000. It's pretty damn good. If we could finish off this one I got pinned, that'd be great. 1,295 left to go for Page in Kansas, guys. For the 14th Mechanized Brigade. That would be fantastic. Earmark for the 14th if you donate. Spider Fate made a $5 donation today during stream. Thank you very much, Spider Fate. Appreciate it. Also, guys, it's on my social media post to share it out if you could. Threads, Blue Sky, X, and then some of you guys are in my private Facebook, which I'm probably gonna have to move to a different Facebook group because I'm starting to get threats. Alright, looks like they're getting ready to announce. Clay Higgins of Indiana, the nay vote. Who the hell? Oh, that bald motherfucker. Oh yeah, I could see him voting no. My kindred. He wants the legal age to be 15. Ass vibes. Wow, think about a way to go down in history. The only motherfucker to vote to protect pedophiles in the House. Wow. Who was your granddaddy? I don't know. I thought they said there was a 15-minute vote. This is going on a little longer than they said. Time remaining, 0. Votes are in. Let's hear it. All right, here we go. Gavel.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
There it is, guys. It passed. It passed the House. On to the next phase. The saga still continues, though, guys. We are far from done with this bullshit. Trump's gonna find a way to get this blocked. It's not over. It's not over for the victims.
Pursuant to Clause 8, Rule
Big
20,
step
the
for
unfinished
victims,
business is the vote on ordering the previous question on House Resolution 879, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Calendar Number 47, House Resolution 879. Resolution providing for consideration of the joint resolution, Senate Joint Resolution 80, providing for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8 of Title 5 United States Code of the rules submitted by the Bureau of Land Management relating to.
I am not. So here's the deal. I'm not buying this bullshit 1 second. It passing in the House and being that the Epstein files are on the way to be released. I'm not buying it. I will believe it when I see it. Until then, you have the Senate. You have the president having to sign it, and we all know how he flip-flops all the time, and especially if he's in it. If he feels like there's going to be something that's going to tarnish his reputation, other than voting a no against this, he will come up with an excuse. So it has to go to him. Then Pam Bondi is going to be the one that decides what's released, and she can just lie. She can just lie. She can just say whatever she wants because that's the type of person she is. And then if she gets in trouble, Trump can just pardon her at the end of the day. So we are a long way from seeing who is on the Epstein files. We're a long way from the truth, but this is a big step. This is a big step. It's putting political pressure. And it's cool. I can celebrate the fact that the victims are at least getting a step forward in the right direction. But I'm not gonna hold my breath on this one, guys. I'm not. But we'll see. You know, maybe something else will happen. Maybe something else will come out in the meantime. But don't hold your breath. Until I see those files released, we're not going to see those files released. And there's so many other things they can do to block it. So then we have to take into consideration too how his fan base is leaving him. Like, people are burning MAGA hats right now. They're starting to step away from this. If he does anything to block the full unredacted copies and they can piece it together, he might. You think January 6th was bad? If he has his own fan base turn on him completely, it's gonna be like January 6th on steroids. All right, guys. Before I go, one more time on the plug. I'll stay positive. I will. I am a expect the worst, hope for the best type of guy. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. So let's plan for the worst. And let's hope for the best. Meanwhile, we got a fundraiser going, guys. It is pinned in the description of the chat for the 14th Mechanized Brigade. They need EcoFlow charging stations. They need medical supplies, and they need food before winter. And we have Robert with a $55 donation. Thank you so much, Robert. Robert, if that was from you, let me know so I can earmark it, because it's not earmarked for the 14th. I will let Paige know. So either mention something in the chat or DM me on Discord. Guys, join the Discord if you haven't already also. Let me throw a link for the Discord. You can keep up to date there. There's a link to the Discord. Also, guys, if you could, I'm going to plug it. I don't plug it very much. I'm going to plug my gaming channel, because we're having a lot of fun over there. Let me plug my gaming channel. I never do this. I'm going to do this. I do it. Just not a lot. Over here, guys, the Chunger Games. Over at the Chunger Games. We're playing DayZ. We've been playing Arc Raiders. We're playing Arc Raiders. Epic Arc Raiders. Got a cool little... Got a cool little entrance going. And so we're doing some things over there at the Chunger Games. Slowly but surely. I think I've got one subscription in like the last month. So it's not blowing up, but I'm having fun doing it. And I also fundraise over there too, guys. So here is the Chunger Games link. All right. There it is. I'm going to send you guys over to Mercado Media. He is airing. Go raid Mercado and tell him Chungus raid or something like that. All right. All right, guys. Love you to death. Talk to y'all later. Peace out.